Hi friends, and welcome to the second series of Wolfie's World. I'm Wolfie Rankin. And in case you don't know what this show's about, it's all about vinyl records, coloured vinyl, picture discs, and limited editions. So let's get started. Drugs, booze, prostitution, triple X-rated pornography. Yes, folks, all the good stuff. And it's right in our own Sodom and Gomorrah, just out of Sydney, and it's called King's Cross. And there's a lot of little places to eat there as well, because, you know, sinners have got to eat, right? Okay. Well, we've got this bloke, and he's called Don Walker, and he writes songs for a group called Cold Chisel, which you might have heard of, usually headed by Jimmy Barnes. Anyway, he goes in there and he writes music every so often. He eats stuff too, but he also writes music. And one of the things that he wrote there was a big hit called Breakfast at Sweethearts. And I'm really rather fond of that song, even though I'm not really massively into rock. That is a really good song, and it's an Australian favourite. And, you know, everybody knows it. One of the other things he writes there is another song called K-San, which is a massive, massive Australian hit. And if you don't know it overseas, well, that would be, well, it's possible. But over here, it's certainly it's got to be the seminal Australian rock hit, or one of them at least. I mean, we've had a few over the years, right? Okay, so K-San, it's like the song that every Aussie knows. It's the song where if there's a rock and roll band at a pub or something like that, someone will always yell out, "Hey, play K-San." And I think a lot of Australians would know it a lot better than the national anthem. And I dare say that there's some Australians that think it is their national anthem. And there's some that probably think it should be. Anyway, I got on eBay a little while ago and I saw 3 records. One was Breakfast at Sweethearts, of course. There was Shipping Steel, and that was on white vinyl, or was it clear vinyl? Clear vinyl, I think it was. And Goodbye Astrid, which was on blue vinyl. Now, as I'm rather fond of Breakfast at Sweethearts, I bought that, and that's on green vinyl. And here it is now. How's that? Now, this is a jukebox edition, and there was only 300 produced. They were reissued in 1998. Anyway, hi Jet. She's a good girl. Jet's come to say hello. Anyway, it always pays to talk to people on eBay, especially if they're a collector who specializes in that particular thing. So I did think, you know, it would have been really good if I'd seen K-San, because, you know, it's just so well known, as I said. But no, that wasn't there. Anyway, I'm talking to this guy, and he's one of the biggest record collectors in Australia. And he's been on the Collectors Program on ABC, which is a very well-known show, which used to be a very well-known show anyway. And he was also a part of a live exhibition at one stage, and I believe he took something like, I don't know whether it was 3 or 5 truckloads of records to this site. I think it was the exhibition buildings. Imagine the biggest ballroom you can imagine. And yeah, and he filled up about half or more of that space with all of his records. It was just amazing. It must have been like moving house. He said he'd never do it again, and I don't blame him for an instant. Anyway, we were having a bit of a chat about coloured vinyl and how I collect coloured vinyl and picture discs. And he said, "Hey, Wolfie, guess what?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "I've got K-San, and it's on orange vinyl." And I went, "Oh no," because my wallet. But anyway, I did get it, and here it is here. It's got just how many times on the B side and K-San on the A side. Coloured vinyl, sort of like a honey amberish coloured vinyl. It says it's orange, but it looks like amber to me. And yeah, 300 made. I'm really rather thrilled to have this because, I mean, they only made 300, and it is a massive hit in Australia. And it just seemed to me that possibly not many people knew about it. I went on a collector's site which had one. I went on a few other collector's sites that knew nothing about it. Discogs knew nothing about it. So I was really quite surprised, and I'm really chuffed to have this. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's got a few little marks inside. You know how coloured vinyl records sometimes have a little duvalacky inside the vinyl? So I've got that. Anyway, for those who are interested, he's actually got a few more copies of Shipping Steel and Breakfast at Sweethearts and Goodbye Astrid on coloured vinyl. So if you're a Cold Chisel fan, go on eBay and have a look. This is just something that you've really got to have, and I'm thrilled with it. Here's Kate Ceberano with Since You've Been Gone. It's an old Aretha Franklin tune, and it's on pink vinyl, and it's a promo single. Now, I know there's some people out there who don't quite know their records. I mean, there's oldies like us who have been around for ages, who have had records going back years. But there's kids out there who are just getting records now, and they don't know all the terms, and maybe they don't. What's a promo? Well, a promo record is what's given out usually to DJs, club DJs and radio DJs. And basically what happens is they're free. Okay, it says on the label, promotional use only, not for sale. And they're a double A side. So what that means is the same song is on both sides. And some of you might go, well, I don't see what good that would be. But, you know, quite frankly, most of us don't listen to the B side anyway. But these records are built for DJs, right? And there is nothing worse, I can tell you from experience, than throwing a record on a turntable, and instead of hearing the song that you were supposed to be playing, turns out to be an instrumental or a dub version or something like that, or some totally different song. And you've announced the other song, so now you feel like a goose because it's going live to air and you can't do anything about it. Now, have you ever ordered a record from eBay or Discogs or somewhere else, and it's come packed in a really weird way, and you thought, oh, no. Well, I got this, and it looked quite normal, and I opened it up, and it looked like that. That was okay. And then I saw this strange thing, and I'm thinking, what the devil? What? It's sort of interesting, but it wasn't what I wanted. I mean, this is the guy that, for those who don't know, the Beatles hung out with for a while when they were getting all spiritual and stuff and trying to find themselves. They were the bloody Beatles. Everyone knew that. Why didn't they? No. Well, no, that's fine. I mean, I think I went through a stage where I was doing the same thing, so I completely understand. But anyway, my record wasn't in there. What's that? Oh, my record wasn't in there, and I'm freaking out. Where's my record? I'm saying to myself, where is it? Well, fortunately, it was just inside. I don't know why maybe its original cover just kind of got lost or died or something like that. So here it is. And this is the Hoodoo Gurus with Good Times. And it is also a promo 12-inch. Now let's go back to 1983. There was a group out of Melbourne, which is right here, called Real Life, and they had two songs, Send Me an Angel and Catch Me I'm Falling, and both songs were awesome. And I got both records on 12-inch and 7-inch and thought, well, you know, I've done something really excellent here. But little did I know that over in Germany they brought out something really, really sweet. And here it is. Once I found out about this, I had to have it, but I think this one's been stored in a kind of a damp basement or something, because it's just a little bit pongy, but it's not too bad. Maybe it's been in my house long enough, and it's kind of, the woofiness is just kind of, though you think in my house you get more woofiness, wouldn't you? Anyway, look at this. Oh my God! Yeah, it's splatter vinyl. Real life, send me an angel on a beautiful, beautiful splatter vinyl disc. I had no idea that it was out there. Um, we had one import shop called Central Station Records in Melbourne, and I dare say they would have had it, but I've never seen it. No, I wasn't really into that back then. I sort of didn't know what those places were for. I didn't really see the idea behind that. Why would you want an imported record when you can buy it here? But obviously, you can get things that you can't get in Australia, and I mean that's awesome. And it only came out in Germany, and they're not going for much either. They're only about $10, 20 at the most. I haven't seen one in mint condition, but I reckon this is in pretty damn good condition. So I'm pleased with that. I think that's really nice. So I'm happy that I've got that, but kind of disappointed that I didn't know back then in 1983 because I would have liked to have picked one up myself. I saw this on eBay and I thought I'll have to get that. I was on a radio station years ago and there was a little record shop downstairs and they had this and I can remember seeing it, but I wasn't into rock at the time. I was more into dance and house music and electronic stuff. And this is Telephone Booth by Ian Moss. And it's on red vinyl. And that's really sweet. But what's even nicer about it is that it comes, if I can get my fingers in there, with a black vinyl copy of Tucker's Daughter, which is a great song. In fact, I think Tucker's Daughter is probably better. Okay. All right, just a little while ago, a few months back, there was a docudrama on NXS. And I walked into the supermarket not long ago and I saw this. And I thought, well, that looks really nice. And that would be a nice inclusion into my record collection. And it's got all the details about NXS in there. Michael Hutchinson, the guys, about all their records and concerts and stuff about their lives. And yeah, it's really cool. So I picked one of those up. And this. Now this kind of goes with it. This I picked this up just a little while ago. And it's Flame Fortune. Now Flame Fortune was a woman who came over from LA. And she was going to sing Jungle Boy with NXS and the other guys. And I don't really know who she is. And, you know, she's a bit of a mystery. Where did she come from? How did she hook up with the guys? I don't know. But she came over for that. And then Michael Hutchins apparently said, you know, well, I've got a song called Sex Symbol. Why don't you sing that? So she kind of agreed. And that's kind of cool. The record itself is on orange vinyl. Looks very, very nice. And it's got this really rather weird label on the other side. She's written something about her sexuality. Okay. I don't think it's exactly Shakespeare, but anyway, there you go. Now, if you can find this on a 7-inch, you're doing quite well. Because it goes for around about $200 on collector sites. So if you happen to find it for maybe 10 cents and somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, pick it up because you'll be doing well. Now, there was a little bit of a funny thing being said when Flame came over. When this record was released and she was over here promoting it. Some people said, you know, I don't really think that's Flame. I reckon that's Michael Hutchinson's voice sped up. And you listen to the record and you kind of think, well, kind of does sound like him. So, do you think she'd done a Milli Vanilli? I don't really know. But it was probably just a silly rumour. And then that was it. She kind of faded out and we never heard from her again. This was never a hit. It was never massive. I don't think it even got on the charts. But it's just as a matter of interest. If you're an NXS fan, this should be a part of your collection because it is just part of the story. That's all. Even if you don't like the song much, and the songs, it's danceable. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not brilliant. And that's it, everyone. I'm keeping my dog Jet. She's awake, and she doesn't want to be awake. She's having a sleepy bye over there in the corner at the moment. So thank you everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm Wolfie Rankin. Have a very good night. Bye.